Thanks for the support as a channel member, Ole Gunnar Kvam. Arguably the biggest game in the history of the football club today as we take on Premier League Kansas City at home in the fourth round of the Open Cup. We've never made it this far into the tournament before. Exciting times, which of course means another exciting sexy shirt as Sexy Shirt Week continues. Hello and welcome to part 106 of Bourne in the USA. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you. The first, of course, is that game against Kansas City in the fourth round of the US Open Cup. We also face San Diego back in the league. Since you were last with me, this is what has been going on. We've been doing all right. We've won the majority of our games. We did lose that one against Greenville, but other than that, things seem to be going pretty well. We're up to third place in the league. We are 8 points behind Louisville, which is starting to look like the kind of gap we're not likely to narrow down, and we're kind of relying on DC United bottling it in the league above. They're now 19 points clear of us, still unbeaten. DC United Academy definitely winning League One. If we look up at the championship, you can see DC United are looking pretty likely to win the championship as well. They're 7 points clear of Houston down in third place. So I think as it stands right now, and it is only January, the playoffs are looking most likely of all. People have suggested having a look at what's going on in the Premier League to see who's going to be coming down. But I don't think it's going to make any difference, because if you look at who's likely to come up, unless Chicago Academy have an absolute charge and they're ready to get relegated, which they're not, there's no other academy sides lurking around their promotion spots here in League One. Loudoun United are in there as well, who of course are another DC United team. But as DC United looking like they're getting promoted, you could have DC United Academy and Loudoun United both promoted up to the Championship as DC United themselves go back to the Premier League. So that would be a long way from ideal. So bottom line, as ever, we just need to win as many of our games as we possibly can. Try and shoot for that second spot. If we end up in the playoffs, hope that this time we don't mess them up. But we can kind of have a day off from thinking about the league for today anyway, because today is all about Kansas City and it's all about the US Open Cup. If we have a look at that Premier League table, Kansas City are down in 16th place. So actually in a relegation battle of their own, if we are to get promoted this year, Kansas City could well come down, and this could be a game we're playing in the league next year. That's how close to the promised land we're getting in this save at this point. So it's not necessarily a foregone conclusion that they're going to come here and beat us. Obviously, they are operating on a completely different financial footing to what we are. They've spent £3.6 million this season, for example, including bringing a player in on loan from Bourne, which we're not able to do because we don't have good enough players for them to play with, apparently. But they were down in the Championship last year, came up in fourth place last season, having spent a number of years down in the Championship. So they're a team that, if we are going to beat a Premier League club on the way up this ladder, this feels like one that we potentially could beat, especially as we're in good form. Let's see, shall we? Probably just show you this transfer as well. I mean, you've just seen him there. Jack McGlynn is the new boy who's coming after the injury to Taylor Hoffman, and him getting injured for the majority of the season. I figured we'd bring in another old man central midfielder who can play that deep line playmaker role. He doesn't look 30, does he? Bless him. He's a 4-star current ability player who was previously of Cincinnati, playing in the Championship, a lot of Championship football for the last 4 years or so. He was playing in the Premier League for Kansas City before that. They spent £2.4 million on him when they were down in the Championship previously. And again, Philadelphia, I mean, he's got a long career of playing Championship football, still only 30, now playing for us down in League One. I think that's a splendid signing, and we've also brought in a third goalkeeper just so we avoid that situation we had earlier on in the season. And to balance all that out, we sold Sean Padilla. He wasn't really being used this year, so he's gone to Pittsburgh for 4.9k. That's the kind of transfers we're dealing with, that kind of level. We've also loaned Solon Thomas back out again. We recalled him from his loan earlier in the season because we panicked, but now we've loaned him back out again. He's gone to play in Haiti. I want to say it's Haiti. And Vakalenko's been sold as well. He's gone to Memphis. also in League One, but hadn't played at all for us this season after all those loanees came in. So he's been moved on, saving his wages. So this is the team for the game against Kansas. This should be a sellout. And fingers crossed, we can pull off a very unlikely victory. We're going with Garcia in goal, a back four of O'Rourke, Mitchell, Glover and Gutierrez, McGlynn and Claudivanio in midfield. We've got an injury. Is it an injury to Gentry? There's a reason Gentry can't play. He's tired. Gentry's tired, bless his cotton socks. Aguilar and Robinson out wide. Robinson has passed a fitness test after a recent injury but can only play 75 minutes. And then Ismailov and Wright up front. Why is Davies not in the team, past Kev? Because he's injured as well. So Davies also injured, which is not ideal because Davies has been one of our stars of this season. But it is nice to have Robinson back after missing both him and Davies in recent matches whilst we were still winning. So let's get the team talk done. Pick up where you left off last time out. Obviously, we're expecting to lose today, but hopeful that we might be able to pull off an upset. That's the attitude we're going into this game with. You can see the new Nook is absolutely rammed full of people, which is lovely, lovely stuff. And let's put on a little bit of a show for them. Let's do some football. I presume, based on Kansas's terrible league position, that they're in pretty poor form. We're going into this in solid form. They're going into it in poor form. You never know. Stranger things have happened. They've started the game slightly stronger than we have, but ultimately, it's been a bit of a nothing first half so far. There was that one early opportunity, but other than that, we are just drifting towards half-time with nothing really going on, which I guess, does that suit us? I don't know. I think if you're Kansas, you're looking at that thinking they're 2 leagues below us and we haven't created anything. This is a little bit of a worry. Whereas if you're us, you might be thinking, this is an opportunity and we're not really taking it. Let's go and grab a goal. So let's go grab a goal. Robinson is charging forward to try and get us that goal. Claudivanio to Ismailov, who's dropped deep here. Robinson to Wright, who shoots from range. That's our first good opportunity of the game. It was only a good opportunity. It wasn't a great opportunity. It wasn't even in the penalty area, but Tristan Wright can score all sorts of goals from all sorts of parts of the pitch. So it was the fact that it fell to him and he had a shot automatically upgrades it to being a decent opportunity. We are now hitting the 70-minute mark, which means we need to be taking Robinson off because he's not fully fit. McJanet can come on and play on that right-hand side again, as he has done so often recently. And I think I'm going to bring on Takada as well. I just think Takada as a target man offers something a little bit different to Ismailov. And I want to get Gentry on in midfield as well. I know he was tired at the start of the game, but let's get him in there. He's probably our best player. Let's get him in alongside McGlynn. And for these final 20 minutes, just try and throw everything at them. They've not really created anything, although they are on the attack now. So it does feel like we've got an opportunity here to go and nick one. A disallowed goal. Right, we're now going to encourage the boys. Hopefully that's a warning shot for us to go up the other end rather than look how close we're getting for them. That was pretty close as well. Come on, boys. Let's go and grab a very unlikely late winner. I don't think there's replays in this competition. I think if it's still 0-0 at extra time, it goes to at full time. Sorry, it goes to extra time and then presumably penalties after that. Gentry. Oh no, it's Glover, not Gentry heading clear. Now McJanet with the break. 5 minutes-ish left on the clock, and McJanet is cutting inside. He's got so much space to run into. McJanet, he's taken that on his weak foot, and I have no idea why. The amount of times we've seen him cut inside and just hit it with his left. He's becoming a real threat from that right wing, and he's bottled that a little bit. Bless him, he's only 20. Right, can we make a fourth change here? Who have we got on the bench? Baron would be the obvious one to come on. Our captain for his experience. We're going to take off O'Rourke if we can. We can't. What is the point of having all these players on the bench if you can't use them? Silly, silly football. Right, we go again in extra time then, looking for Takada but can't find him. And I think this is probably where Kansas start to have more of an advantage. I mean, they already had an advantage, but I think their advantage starts to become more obvious the deeper into this game we get, because they're going to be fitter than us. They're going to be. I know we're both full-time teams now. We can't use that old excuse we used to use, but they're the Premier League team. They're the ones with all the experience playing in big matches. They're the ones who've presumably been here before. We've never been in this situation before. Tristan Wright with the shot now, but it's straight into a defender. But we are asking questions. Oh, that's poor from Gutierrez. He's given them a big opportunity here, and Glover with a massive saving tackle that somehow has resulted in a penalty. He clearly won the ball. I mean, we're going to go back and have a look at this penalty decision in a second. Oh, what a save from Garcia. That is equally massive. How do I go back? Well, I still miss the fact we don't have the timeline on the screen that you used to have in FM20 and previous. If we look at that, I don't want to see. I want to go back. I want to go back a bit more. And right, I think this is where we're going to see this tackle. Watch Glover, number 5. There is not a chance this is a penalty. Oh, in fact, Mitchell's number 5. So Glover is number 20. Have I gone back far too far? Have I gone all the way back to the previous highlight here? Maybe I have. Yeah, this is not the right highlight. Is this even happening? Has this happened before? Is this live? Right, we're going to watch to see if we... Right, I do remember this shot from right, and then it comes up the other end. Okay, I do remember this. This is where Gutierrez gives the ball away. Now watch Glover. Not a chance. Is this a penalty? Absolutely no contact with the player. Wins the ball cleanly. Doesn't touch the man. How on earth is that a penalty? Garcia has saved him, but... no way should that be given as a penalty there. The referee, it's a conspiracy against us, and I'm not at all happy about it. And now we've got the ball away again, and it's Wright, and he turns, and it's just the one defender remaining, and Wright puts on the afterburners. He's clear of both of them. Oh, but somehow that fella gets back and gets the block in again. Wright's not had a clean shot away on goal all day. He just can't get that extra little bit of space that he gets in League One. I guess that's why he's a League One striker, not a Premier League striker. He looks dangerous, but he needs that little bit of extra space that these defenders just aren't giving him to get his shots away. Kansas are in again here, and Garcia again making a save. What a game Garcia's having for us today. O'Rourke scrambles it clear from the rebound, and now Kansas with the corner again, and it goes over. Garcia is having an incredible match, and it looks like we're still going to be surviving at 0-0 as we head into the second half of extra time. Get this out of the way now. We don't want to see that. Right, Mitchell playing it forward, looking for Wright, but doesn't get anywhere near him. But he's there to get in ahead of the Kansas striker again. And unfortunately, Wright is not really getting a lot of joy out of this defence today at all. The defence are doing a very good job on our attackers, but our defence also playing exceptionally well. It's a tale of two pretty good defences here today. And Garcia ends up with the ball in hand again, as he has done all day long. And 5 minutes to go now until penalties. Have we got a late cheeky winner in us, or are we going to do it on penalties? Because the form Garcia's been in today, you've got to believe a little bit going into these penalties. I hate doing team talks before penalty shootouts. I always give them to my assistant manager, so we'll do that. And now we just cross fingers. It's a battle of bottle now. Either way, we've done brilliantly to get to this point, and Takada, our full international, misses his penalty. I mean, it's a save, but a save is a miss, isn't it? We all know the rules. And now Garcia already needing to make a save, and he can't. And it's now 1-0 to Kansas City. And Tristan Wright, who's had no joy at all today, can he find the back of the net to keep us in this shootout? He can. Excellent stuff. Back to 1-1. And then we go back to believing in Garcia again after the game that he's had. A save here will really lead to Kansas City starting to ask some questions, but it's a very good penalty. And it's 2-1 to them. 3 penalties each remaining. And O'Rourke is now the one who steps up. I've got an eyelash in my eye. It's a crucial moment. This is not the time. But O'Rourke has scored, and it's 2-2 again. And we've got to believe Garcia's got another penalty save in him today at some point in the shootout. There's going to be another twist today, surely. It's not just going to be a comfortable penalty shootout win with no twists and turns. It can't be after the game we've just had. Gentry now from the penalty spot came on midway through the game and scores a beauty of a penalty. Takada aside, these have all been very good penalties from both teams. And now we look at Garcia again and we hope that he's got another save in him. And oh, he got very, very close. But it's coming down to the final penalty. Huge pressure now on whoever's our number 5 penalty taker. I didn't look. I just hit the auto pick. It's McJanet. Oh, what have I done here? Why would you give your young, inexperienced player the number 5 penalty? This is madness. McJanet. And he scores it, and it's a great penalty as well, and it does come back to Garcia again with an opportunity to make himself the hero. Again, he's already saved 1 penalty today in extra time of the game. Can he be the hero one more time? Now we're in the final kick of the penalty shootout. Come on, Victor. Come on. No. Well, I said it wasn't going to be a boring, straight-up penalty shootout like that, but it was. Kansas, just 5 very good penalties. But you know what? We've just taken a Premier League team all the way to penalties. We were so close to pulling off an upset, and it allows us to focus on the league now for the rest of the season. So it's all worked out well for the end. Shota Takada, what a silly boy. But Garcia didn't save a penalty in the shootout, but at 20 years old, 8 saves and an 8.8 in the match. He squeezed in a key pass as well. This boy has got Premier League future written all over him after a performance like that. Excellent stuff. Right. Now let's get back into the league and pick up a win. Just the league to focus on now. Bit of a shuffle round at the back for the San Diego game then. Lots of tired legs off the back of playing extra time just a couple of days ago. McGlynn and Wright and Glover are the ones who are going to have to play despite being tired because they're so crucial to the way the team plays. But the defence is having a complete shuffle round. So Ramirez coming in at left back, Baron coming back in at centre back, Ruiz coming in at centre back as well, and Glover moving over from centre back to play at right back. McJanet's coming in on the left hand side as well. And other than that, it is the same team that played in that last game. I mean, other than that 1,000 changes that I've decided to make, it is the same team. But San Diego are a mid-table team in League One. We should be able to get back to winning ways today. The only thing I think that will potentially cost us is the tiredness to key players like McGlynn, like Wright. Coming into this with them not at 100% isn't ideal, but hopefully they can do enough damage early on that we can then bring on some of those players off the bench and rest them up into the second half. That's the plan. 4-0 up inside 10 minutes would be ideal, although worryingly, it seems like it's San Diego who are keeping hold of the ball early on, as if they've not read the script. Ismailov now dropping nice and deep to try and pick a pass to find Wright. He can't actually find one because they're marking him very well. So he just gives it back to Baron, who just lumps it. He finds the pass with the lump, and Wright has 2 men on him, and one of them ends up bringing him down. And it's going to be Ismailov to take the penalty inside 3 minutes. 4-0 by 10 minutes is on, boys and girls. We're 1-0 up after 3 minutes. We've just got to keep doing it at this slightly faster than this rate, and we'll hit the game plan, and then we can just take off all of the boys who were a little bit tired. It's a very solid penalty from Ismailov, showing Takada, who's down on the bench, how a penalty should be hit, because of course Ismailov's the guy who came off in that game for Takada, who in turn came on and missed a penalty. I mean, it was the only missed penalty. Ismailov, how different things might have been if he'd have stayed on the pitch. Who knows? Garcia then, from the goal kick, lumps it forward, trying to find Ismailov, can't find him. But there's Glover, who's just lumping it forward, looking for Wright. Again, if in doubt, lump it forward towards Tristan Wright. McJanet can't get his cross in. We've not really used McJanet on this left wing very much. This is theoretically his natural side. He's a left footer, so he can play as an out-and-out winger over here. But I actually don't think playing as an out-and-out winger necessarily suits him, but fitness issues. Aguilar was shattered after the previous game, and Rodriguez, who's the other guy who plays out on the left wing quite regularly, he's on a little holiday, a little rest at the moment because he'd played so much football. So McJanet having to play on the left-hand side today, and hopefully will take the opportunity to show us that he's pushing for a starting spot, because he's getting there. He played a lot of football 2 or 3 years ago down in League Two as an 18-year-old, fell down the pecking order again, and has now forced his way back into the mix. It's not often players do that, but he's a rare example of a player who pretty much seems to be growing roughly as quickly as the club is growing, which is very nice to see. McGlynn playing it forward to McJanet, who cuts it back to Claudivanio, and then Ramirez overlapping on this left-hand side, looking for that cross to Ismailov, but can't find him. Tristan Wright is already shattered 20 minutes in. Has he picked up an injury, or is he just tired? Because maybe starting him wasn't the best idea I've ever had. McGlynn playing it forward to Ismailov, and now McGlynn again trying. Oh, what a pass through to McJanet that was! What a ball for McGlynn. That's your championship quality that you get as a deep line playmaker there from McGlynn. That's why we brought him in. All that experience, all that quality. What a pass. And McJanet grabbing a goal from the left-hand side now. Oh, look at that pass. Oh, it's delicious. And McJanet, again, closer and closer to being a starting player for us. He's always a threat. McJanet with the flick on, finds Wright. Wright playing it over for Robinson to chase, but he can't get onto the end of it. And now San Diego clearing again. So it's not 4-0 after 10 minutes, but 2-0 after 20. If we can grab a third, I think at that point, we start to take off tired legs. Obviously, if it's the second half, I'm not going to take Wright off after half an hour. I think that's probably a little bit silly. Unless he's injured. We haven't actually checked if he's injured yet. Garcia continuing his excellent form from the previous game with another very solid save. Right, I thought that was going to be a message about Tristan Wright. It's not. I need to know what's up with him. If he's injured, we've got a reason to take him off then. Here is Wright, still doing all the running. I mean, he's not playing as if he's injured, although he did just kick the ball out when he got there. It's like he ran towards me to then say, can I come off now, please, boss? I think that said he'd taken a knock, but we need to have a proper look. I could pause the game and have a proper look, maybe. Because we don't want to risk a proper injury to him, because obviously he is crucially important to the rest of the season, to the run-in for this year. Garcia then lumping it forward once again, looking for Wright, who had just the ball bounces off of him again. And now McGlynn, ball over the top for Robinson, not able to get to his feet. And I could really do with that in-betweeny screen now, so we can have a look to see what the message is about Tristan Wright. Oh, that's a lovely goal. San Diego are back in this, and we have a problem. I want to see the message. I don't want to see the goal again, that's for sure. Skip that. Right, pause. He's taken a knock, indicating he wants to come off. Could be a pulled groin. Yeah, we probably need to take him off, don't we? Although he's recovering. Injured, but you know what? I'm leaving him on because he's recovering. We're going to give him until at least half time, because if he's starting to make a recovery, we may as well leave our best player on the pitch. Baron's there, clattering that into the crossbar. I think we probably take Wright off at half time regardless. Takada can come on. Ismailov can play a little bit further forward. We've done that with him a few times already this season, played him as the advanced forward, even sometimes with Tristan Wright, dropping back into the false nine role alongside him. That's something we've done a few times, and it does nullify Wright a little bit. But it does seem to get the best out of Ismailov, playing him a little bit further forward. So we've kind of got two players who both want to play on the shoulder of the last man. So we're not really losing too much by pushing Ismailov into that position, I don't think. But we'll wait until half-time to do it, just so Wright doesn't think we've decided he's rubbish. He is declining again. I know you can't see that behind my beautiful, sexy shirt, but his fitness level is starting to decline a little bit again. So we're definitely taking him off at half-time. There's his headed clearance. This has been a weirdly long first half. We're getting a lot of highlights, even though there's not a massive amount of stuff going on. It's only 2-1. It's not been loads of really good opportunities. It's just been a weird first half where we're seeing a lot of highlight like this. McJanet with the ball over the top. I mean, we've seen that so many times. Ball forward, headed clear. Another ball into the area, headed clear. McJanet's going to cross it for a third time. Ismailov there does score this time. I don't think the highlight needed to start quite as early as it did, but I guess the football manager argument would be it was a highlight that led to a goal. So we can't complain too much about it. McJanet took 3 opportunities to get his cross onto the head of someone who could get it into the back of the net. But, I mean, more fool San Diego for keep giving the ball back to him and giving him more opportunities, because he shouldn't get the chance to cross it 3 times as part of the same move, surely. Robinson now with a counter-attack, trying to make it 4 before half-time, which would be startlingly close to the original game plan, and it is another penalty in the 47th minute now. Ismailov, there's his hat-trick, and that's 4-1 at half-time, and now we can take off all of the boys who weren't fully fit at the start of the game. So Glover, McGlynn and Wright are all going to come off at half-time. We've got a 3-goal lead. We're playing very, very well. We don't need to be risking anyone for the rest of this game. So we're going to take off Wright for Takada and swap those 2 over. We're going to take off McGlynn for Lindley, and we're going to take off Glover for De La Fuente, and then stick Ruiz out at right back. I don't know that I've ever done... I didn't do a team talk either. I don't know if I've ever done a triple substitution at half-time before. The players must think I'm insane. Triple substitution and no team talk at half-time. There you go, boys. Figure it out for yourself. I'm not going to explain what I've just done. I'm just going to let you figure it out for yourselves. Let's test the character of them. Oh, God. I don't think... When you're all crucifying me in the comments after this for throwing away a 4-1 lead, I would like it on record that it wasn't the 3 substitutions that cost us the game. It was the lack of team talk that cost us the game. That has much more of an impact than making these substitutions. The substitutions, I think, were necessary. They're 3 players who wouldn't have been starting anyway if we had a deep enough squad. And I don't think taking them off will lead to us throwing a game away against a team that we're obviously comfortably better than. But no team talk, always a bit of a problem. Lindley looked like he overstretched a little bit there. I thought he'd done his hamstring. That'll be the other thing that will happen. We make 3 substitutions and then someone gets injured 5 minutes into the second half and we have to play most of the second half down to 10 men. That's the sort of way the game would normally punish us for these kind of shenanigans. Right, we haven't really looked. What's going on with Louisville? Because that gap has dropped down to 5 points. I think it's that they're not playing. They've got a game in hand on us as it stands, which they didn't have at the start of the episode. So I think that's what's going on. But either way, we've said it a million times before. We'd rather have the points than the games in hand. 5 points away from automatic promotion now with what? How many? 18 games remaining? Is that right? 28, 46. Yeah. 18 games remaining. That's a gap that we can close. Robinson now, as he tries to conjure up the opportunity to make it 5, and he does play it into the path of Takada, who grabs his 4th of the year and undoes his penalty miss from the last game with a goal from open play. Obviously, scoring the 5th in an easy win against a mid-table League One team, much more important than a penalty against a Premier League side that was worth about £250,000 to us. So all is forgiven, Shota. That's all we really wanted from you. Takada now with the corner. As we look to make it 6, it's Baron there, but it's straight into the arms of the San Diego goalkeeper again, and they're now getting it clear. They've got an injured player on the pitch. This is crazy talk, and we're not really dealing with him. What on earth has happened there? I mean, Garcia's had a very, very good episode, and then we have a little bit of comedic goalkeeping there that he completely gets away with, but I'll just take the full-time whistle now, please, ref. I think we've had enough of this. We've got this game won. Any more highlights that we see here are only going to be things that are going to upset me, I think, because it's been all San Diego for the last 2 or 3 highlights, and I'll quite frankly, I've had enough of them. Please, if we can move on from them now. Thank you very much. There you go. Good win, boys. Well done. And I don't know why Louisville weren't playing, but I'm not going to argue with it because we're now only 5 points behind them. And fingers crossed, by the time we're back for the next episode, we will be even closer than that, Tormentor are coming point for point with us as well. Everyone else seems to be starting to drop away a little bit as it's becoming a little bit of a 3. That's the wrong thing. There's a 3 chasing the top one. We're not really chasing. There's DC United Academy who are pretty much already up. And then we're kind of becoming a 3 with Louisville and Tormentor fighting over second place. And that'll do. We'll happily fight over second place for the rest of the season. And fingers crossed, get there so we can avoid the curse of the playoffs this season. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.